Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Raid Shadow Legends is one of the very few games where when people ask for advice in the early game, often the correct advice to give them is you should restart. You should start over. You should just dump that account. You should make a new account with proper way to make it and start over. That is a pretty peculiar phenomenon. I'm not going to go deeper into the reason for that, although the main reason for that is that you really want to start Raid with a creator promo link. Creator promo links have been improved by a lot over the past around 12 months, and they are now giving such a great start to the game that if you don't start with one, you're at a huge disadvantage, you're losing months of progress, and it's just not going to be a very good experience. And on the topic of those creator promo links, I also have one. Thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video and for giving me this wonderful creator promo link down below in the description there in the QR code. New account with Tholin Foulbeard at the start to be your campaign farmer. Rector Drath at level 15 to go with that Tholin so that there's a reviver and a healer for Tholin. They will go through the campaign. Venomage at 20, Uugo at 30, giving you more support champions. So yeah, in this video I'm going to take a look at a few examples. All of these are actual accounts that people have linked to Reddit. Typically they have not been asking whether they should restart. They don't even know that they should restart. But they have been asking, okay, what do I do next? And the right answer in most cases is to restart. But let's take a look at the accounts and why. So this first one, for example, this is what a fresh account pretty much looked like 2 years ago. They have picked Atel as their starter. They have found a new player promo code, so they have been able to get Sun Wukong. You get one champion from new player promo code after you have started, but you need to use the promo link before you have started. So they have Sun Wukong. Then they have progressed through some of the campaign. So they have the War Priest, and then they have the Rock Tooth. That is also one of the champions that you get from the campaign. And yeah, this is not something that you want to pursue. You want to start over from here because these are just not very strong champions to progress with, and you don't have proper support, so you won't have a good experience going through a campaign compared to going through a campaign with like Tholin and Rector Drath. They are just going to blast through that campaign, and these champions are not. And you will have much less fun playing Raid unless you start it the right way, which is kind of sad, I admit. But yeah, this one is a clear restart. But then there are many other cases. For example, there is this one. This is clearly an account that has been played a little bit longer because there is that high cartoon that you get for playing for 30 days. They have also either made the Justiciar fusion or they have gained it from a shard. There's Ezio, there's some stuff that you get from playing the game for a while. And there's also Xenomorph. And Xenomorph was a login champion recently, very recently at the turn of the year. Good champion, no longer available, but still the account has no other redeem characteristics. Kale is probably a starter, Atel probably picked up from later. Then there's that Fencer, but yeah, like you just can't build your account on this because you again have no revivers, no good healers. You're just not going to be able to tackle many of the challenges in Raid. Because one of the most important things to be able to tackle challenges in Raid is a good set of support champions. You add a couple of damage dealers depending on what sort of damage you like, but then those supports, the supports are really the beating heart of your Raid account. And this one doesn't have them, so this account is dead. So clear reasons to just start over even after playing for more than 30 days. And here's another account. Again, Gale has been clearly the starter. Gale is also the only level 60. Gale is fully ascended, level 60, probably doing pretty well in the campaign with that. But what about all the other content and the campaign? This account has Predator. Hopefully it has been a lucky pull from a shard and not money spent on the champion pass. But even if you have spent money on your Raid account, you just need to forget that any money has been spent on the account and take a look at, okay, what do you actually have? And then decide on whether you should continue with that account or whether you should restart. In economics, we call that sunk cost fallacy. So because you have spent money already, that makes you more likely to want to spend more money on that. But putting good money on top of bad money is not a viable way to approach things. So don't fall into the sunk cost fallacy. But take a look at the account. So this account does have that Predator, obviously. There is a Leminisi. Tuhanarak is most likely from a new player promo code, but Tuhanarak can be regained from a new player promo code again. There is that Gogorab, and then Kinagashi. No, well, it just doesn't have. Once again, is there enough support? There's some damage here with Kale, Predator, Laminisi. There's a tiny bit of support with Tuhanarak, but no, there's not enough support. You can get so much better support if you start over, and that's going to enable you to progress much further and much faster in the game. And progressing more means that you're going to get more resources, you're going to get more shards, and those more shards are also going to give you more champions. So eventually you're just going to get more progress than you would if you were to continue with this account. So that's another restart right there. Well, what about this one? Very early account, only pulled a couple of shards. Kale again has been the starter. There's a Cheshire Cat, which clearly has been the new player promo code that has been used. And then a couple of really great shard pulls because there's Edward, which is a limited time champion, one of the assassins, so that will no longer be available soon. And there's Rector Drath, who is actually a good healer, good support. So, okay, this account kind of has something going for it. But while Edward is time limited, the assassins are not game changing. Having Edward is not that important for your account in the end. And while Rector does provide some support, she's not enough just by herself. Actually, when I started playing one of my old accounts again last year, the only good support that account had was Rector Drath. And I just grinded it out and slowly got new support champions for that, because I just want to see, okay, like what sort of effort is that to do, and it was pretty painful. So while it's possible, of course, anything is possible, you can play with barely anything to start with and just play enough and grind enough and spend enough time and money, and you will get through, of course. But is it going to be fun? Is it going to be effective? No, this one is not going to be effective. You're going to get much better start. Much better than that Rector, that Edward. You can still pick Kale, you can still get Cheshire Cat if you really want to. Although you would be better off with Tuhanarak. And yeah, that's a restart. Then I also found discussion about this account on Reddit. Again, not asking for a restart, but asking for guidance and asking for help. So this account, so again, Kale has clearly been the starter champion. They have enjoyed Sniper. I enjoyed Sniper the first time I played the game. But no, Sniper is not going to be good enough. Tuhanarak from promo code. Then the interesting parts. There is a Xenomorph, which is no longer available, so really painful. And there's a Venus. And Venus is a Void Legendary that comes with AoE Decreased Defense, AoE Weaken, and AoE HP Burn. So Void Legendaries are super hard to find. Obviously, Tuhanarak you can get from the promo code, so that can be regained. But the player is probably never going to see that Venus again. However, once again, this account is in huge trouble because of the lack of good support champions. Actually, this account has a terrible lack of good support champions. There's like Tholog. Tholog is not even that good, and there's nothing else, and it's a disaster. There is no way this account is going to survive through dungeons, through clan bosses. I mean, obviously, any time you might pull a lucky pull from a shard, get some really good champions from shards, maybe you can get through it. Like, there's always that kind of hope, and some people like to rely on that hope, but it's unlikely. Support champions are hard to find, notoriously hard to find. And without those good support champions, progress is going to be nigh impossible. If someone was to have this account and start over, they would quickly overtake this account in progress, and they would just blast right through and have much better collection, even though it's likely that they might never, ever have Venus again. And here's another one that I found. I mean, it's not really hard to find these. These are from like last 2 days or 3 days on Reddit. People keep asking about help all the time, where the best answer you could actually give them would be to start over with a new account. This is a really painful roster to see, because Raid is all about going deep and not going wide. One level 60 is better than a bunch of level 50s. One level 16 performance is more than 50% better than a level 50, sometimes 100% better. So a bunch of 50s typically get killed by a single 60 because the damage deals, like that Elhain can probably just kill the rest of this roster. Elhain just smacks them before they get to do much. So you really need to get a bunch of 60s. You don't want to get a lot of 50s. And this account has a ton of 50s, well, at least in comparison. Yeah, 10 50s, 160. And then a whole bunch of 40s, a whole bunch of 30s. It really hurts to see an account like this. But that's fairly typical. You kind of want to level them up, and then it's pretty hard to actually get to the point where you would rank them up. For the next rank, you have to eat some other champions and get them to rank up, and then you kind of skip that, and then you end up with something like this, and this is so much time wasted. Also, in some ways, this is a typical pre-links account again, not enough support champions. That's going to completely stop the progress. Like, even if you were to level 60, the champions that you currently have at 50, what do you even have? It's damage dealer after damage dealer after damage dealer after damage dealer. There's no support, there's no longevity, the team is not going to survive, and ultimately the team is not going to be able to make it. So even this account, I would reroll. I would start over. It would be a much more fun experience to have Tholin and Rector Drath just blasting through. And let's take a look at one more. This is the most interesting one that I found. So this one has Mikey. Mikey is a great limited time champion, no longer available, has the perfect debuffs for Demon Lord, which is important in the early game progress. Mikey brings decreased attack, leech, and decreased defense. You need to book Mikey to get those to 100%. So once you have booked Mikey, Mikey gets those to 100%, then they are reliably going to be applied. And it's just one of the perfect Demon Lord champions. Such a wonderful Demon Lord champion. And this account does have some support champions as well. There's a level 60 Rector Drath, there's a level 60 Tagoar, there's a high Katoon, and there's Exator. So this is an account of a player who has been playing on and off. So as you can see, they missed Xenomorph, but they have Arthur, and they have Mikey, and looks like they also missed Leminisi. So yeah, there's also Sun Wukong, there's Alice, so there's some powerful legendaries there. I could see a potential for this player even to restart. So that wouldn't be completely out of the question. However, Mikey is a great asset to have, and between Rector Drath, Tagoar, High Katoon, then there's that Bellower for some stun action. This account just might have just enough. So that this would be an account that could be worth keeping and going on with this one. But this is like the borderline. If an account is weaker than this one, then you're probably looking at starting over with the link, then with a new player promo code, preferably for Tuhanarak. And that's going to be really the way that you will succeed and the way that you will have fun in Raid. But yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that if you just download Raid on your phone and start playing, then your experience is going to be pretty bad. You need to first know that, okay, I need to start Raid with a creator promo link, and only then will I really have fun with the game. One of my least favorite aspects, but it's the way it is. I don't make the rules. I can only try to help you find that, hey, there is a better way to start this game, and starting the game with a link is going to make the game so much more enjoyable and actually having fun with the game. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members, and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.